Leo Hmelnitsky, Head of Strategic Partnerships at Finery Markets. So, crypto industry actually continues to evolve as new products come to market, regulators establish new policies and even like penalize wrongdoing, and crypto adoption evolves from retail to institutional clients. And every few months, actually, we seem to be like at the new inflection point. And to be honest, last few weeks have been no different. So we had like almost a year passed since the collapse of FTX. So we had this news on the Binance and its CEO CZ. They pleaded guilty and agreed to pay $4.3 billion in fines. I mean, certain development around CBDC, I would say, have been slower than was initially expected. And finally, if you look back to 2023, in particular our industry in trading, we'll see that trading volumes have been, I would say, stagnant throughout most part of the previous year, but are finally starting to pick up. And the reason he is pretty straightforward. Market is optimistic about, market participants are optimistic about the upcoming spot ETF, which, as everybody like see that, may have positive impact on the market and on the trading volumes. So, given this like backdrop, my first question goes to Leo. So crypto volumes across exchanges are still like down around 50% compared to the previous year, despite the recent recovery, which like started last month in October. And liquidity providers and market makers actually are struggling to generate revenue in the market, which lacks both volumes and volatility. So what do you see in terms of liquidity and turnover through the Finery Markets platform?
Well, first of all, thank you, Sergey, for having me on the webinar. It's nice to be here with Sam, one of our pioneer clients at Finery Markets. My name is Leo Hmelnitsky. I'm, as Sergey mentioned, responsible for advisory work and global partnerships, and excited to speak to a lot of clients and see what's happening in the market. And as always, there are many forces at play in the market, and crypto certainly has its share of news. Specifically, most recently with Changpeng Zhao, or commonly known as CZ, stepping down as the CEO of Binance, Coinbase remaining under investigation, the attacks in eastern Ukraine with the Russia aggression, against Ukraine continuing to proceed, and with heinous attacks, by Hamas terrorists. I mean, a lot of instability in the world in general. That brings some volatility, but unfortunately not necessarily volumes. What we've seen with Bitcoin, nonetheless, is that it has appreciated 126% year to date, so more than doubled in its value. In terms of the turnover numbers on Finery Markets, we see a slowdown in crypto to crypto trading, but nice pickup in stables, stable to fiat, crypto to stable, and stable to stable, so cross-chain protocol movement. The beauty of Finery Markets is that we have a very diversified set of clients, so we're somewhat resilient to what's happening in directional view of the crypto. So the real world, clients paying with crypto, payment system providers, instant exchanges continue to bring the flow to the platform, and that's what allows us to kind of succeed in this market. I'll pass it back to Sam.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Pleasure to discuss this topic. So yeah, it's been a strange few months and yeah, looking back to the crypto space. So DAMEX is mostly active in on and off front, and we see most of our clients being using the stable coins and the crypto for the purpose of payments. This year we've traded about 25% more than last year. So we see the adoption growing. We see also individually per client some additional volume coming. Those industries are also impacted by temporary good things, and we can see that the adoption is really working well. I can remember last year during the World Cup, on some days our volumes double or triple or quadruple. It was quite staggering to see the adoption around the crypto world. So around the payment, I'm very optimistic. I think the industry is now solidly established, and we have more volume coming. In the other side of the business, which is the trading side, we have seen quite a few interesting developments. We do not see, for the time being, the retail coming back yet. There's some spike of activity, but they are quite minor. And I think that's why overall we do not see the same volume on exchanges. The other reason, obviously, is there was an elephant in the room, which was Binance. With the regulatory uncertainty, their volume has shrunk substantially from historical activities. This volume is going to other actors, but not in the same proportion. So I think this bounce back is a little bit shadowed by the situation at Binance. The other thing is, and it's a funny subject, because for years we've been saying the institutional are coming, the institutional are coming. I started my crypto journey in 2017, and I've heard this rhetoric so many times, but I've never seen the institutional as today. That being said, for the very first time, I can say that we have significant change in behavior from institutional. And maybe they are coming this time. We are going to know very soon. But there is definitely a change in attitude, in conversation, and the professionalism of the space is really helping. So I think that's the encouraging picture that we're seeing.
Yeah. Thanks, Leo. Thanks, Sam. It's quite interesting, because as the professionalism of the industry grows, most likely the demand for quality services will grow too. And you mentioned that you started your crypto journey back in 2017, and the DAMEX itself actually also has been providing OTC services for clients for years. Moving towards FM Liquidity Match, what were the exact challenges that led you to choose FM Liquidity Match solution, and how does Finery Markets platform solve the needs of global payment providers like DAMEX?
Yes. So DAMEX was established 2017 with the license in Gibraltar 2018. We are one of the oldest DLT license with a proper framework around regulation. What is interesting is that when we started, there was no stablecoin, or barely any stablecoin, and the payments were done in BTC and so on. We were lacking liquidity. So we have seen mostly every single cycle of the industry. Now, for the last couple of years, since the payment revolution is happening with crypto as a tool, we have been concentrating on serving our client with bespoke solution. And due to the lack of framework, though this was mostly done what we call voice trading, meaning that we have a direct relationship with the client, and the process was mostly manual. Now we have had two needs that are addressed by Finery Market. Therefore, the choice we've been made to partner with you. One is the client facing. We have more and more requests for clients which want some granularity on the way they process their order. So we needed a client facing interface. We needed some automation on the flow. And this is exactly what Finery has brought to the table. The second part, which is also interesting, is we have more and more conversation about clients which want to face fully regulated solutions from, I would say, A to Z. So DAMEX is a regulated custodian, and through settlements happening directly with us, we give access to the largest liquidity on the market. And when we can give this client-facing proposition, basically they want to deal with DAMEX only, where before there was a tendency to on-ramp and off-ramp with us, as it was our specialty. But then the stablecoins was moved to Binance or to OKX for the purpose of trading. Now the clients are not so comfortable in doing so. So we have seen a lot of demand of clients wanting to have the full suite of the relationship with a regulated actor. So this is really where we took a step in the right direction for active traders, where we still serve them with on and off ramp with the best of pricing and so on and service. But with one single onboarding, they can now have a client-facing platform at with the best price in the market, only dealing with a regulated entity. And I think that's making a huge difference. And this is really a pivotal thing that is happening, of course, since FTX, but all this year, we have seen more and more of those conversations. We have seen some product innovation from the custodian solutions, which are also offering of exchange trading. And there's a lot of things happening around this side. So I think the future is for the crypto industry to look in the mirror and see what's happening in TradFi and replicate this in our industry with the best principle in play. We are going to provide best pricing, best execution, but what they want the best safety. And that was not happening when you have to put your fund on an exchange, not knowing what's happening there.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I mean, exactly, we're 100% here with you. As we also saw, I would say, like reconsideration or reassessment of the counterparty risk following FTX and many market players, they would like to create a more stable, more secure setup. So yeah, Leo, you mentioned that Finery Markets has been quite resilient to the, I would say, market downturn last year. Do you think the launch of FM Liquidity Match actually helped Finery Markets to perform that way? And maybe it makes sense just to refresh the memory of our audience and to explain what is actually FM Liquidity Match in very simple terms.
Absolutely. But before we dive into Liquidity Match, I want to echo what Sam said. I think we haven't seen the institutions come in droves. I think we're still waiting for the regulatory reform, definitely in the US and the UK and Gibraltar and other entities, BVI, have been taking a stab and capturing market share, which is fantastic. We'll monitor that very closely. But what we have seen is a traditional finance background folks coming over to the crypto industry. Plenty of people like Sam and myself with 20 plus years of traditional finance experience coming and building the platforms and building the processes that are much more in the traditional finance space. There are several key differentiating features that set Finery Markets apart from other ECNs or smart order routers. I think Sam alluded to one of them. Finery Market is a unique ECN solution with a firm streaming quote. We don't have the last look. We have zero rejects for takers of liquidity. And at times of volatility and market moves, that becomes crucially important. Finery Market is a custody agnostic, and we integrate with a number of large custodians. Liquidity Match specifically that was launched earlier this year allows us to overcome some of the challenges, and DAMEX is actually a great example. As a well-regulated counterparty, we are allowing clients to properly price the risk of the counterparties that didn't really exist before the FTX blow-up last November. Liquidity Match allows for the nested structure where the master owns a set of clients, and they stream liquidity to their sub-custodian or sub accounts on the platform. It allows the master to control the risk parameters. We have a comprehensive risk management that is actually built into the matching engine itself, and allows us to control which client gets quotes in which instruments. We have a short band sale protection. We have ability to add the markups and kind of manage the relationship between the master and the sub account. And it also takes out that very big component of risk in a counterparty management, where you're facing DAMEX, and from DAMEX, you are accessing liquidity from any other counterparty. We also have a position management and automated reporting. We're going to talk more about this a little later. And we're working on the integrated settlement with major custodians. which will again take out the risk of the custody and the settlement from the system and allow us to provide this back-to-back solution for the entire trading process for clients.
Yeah, thanks, Leo. Maybe one more question on the same topic. So you mentioned this structure of master accounts and sub accounts with like automation, risk management tools, position reporting, everything. So do you think there are like a lot of use cases for that on the market? If you could elaborate on that, would be just great.
Yeah, thank you. I think what's happening in Finery Markets is, as I mentioned earlier, we have a very diversified area of clients. So we have OTC desks, we have brokers, we have instant exchanges, we have LPs looking for proprietary ECN solutions, we have custodians, we have payment providers. So it's a very broad set of clients. They bring a lot of volume and a lot of directional and non-directional volume in terms of cryptocurrencies. And that allows us to offer all that sort of taker liquidity to the LPs. At the same time, from the LP perspective, we have a fairly diversified set of LPs, a dozen of LPs, and that number continues to grow right now. And all the automation that comes with it, again, as I mentioned, the position management, the reporting, automated reporting on a daily basis, monthly basis, I think they become very key. There is no pre-funding on the platform, even though we do have the margining requirements. So the relationship between the master and the sub accounts or LP to taker can include margining. And all these components essentially allow us to build a very comprehensive solution for different takers and makers on the platform.
Yeah, thank you. And maybe talking about like potential use cases, to continue on that. Sam, DAMEX actually operates various business lines for corporate segment, like OTC Desk, DAMEX Direct, which offers both IBAN and functionalities of crypto wallets, even like custody solution. So given the features and potential use cases which just like mentioned by Leo, can you envision a use case for FM Liquidity Match that I would say extends beyond your end client needs, maybe providing a unified point of access to institutional crypto liquidity across your diversified business lines?
Yes. So one point which has not been mentioned and which is obviously very interesting for us and for people not familiar, but a Finery Market is a software solution. Basically, you don't have regulatory function, you don't settle, you don't touch the assets, you are sitting in the middle. So on one hand, I have got the regular LPs I work with. On the other, I have the client facing, which I've been doing all my life and all the career of DAMEX. Finery Market is the one solution which is going to bridge the two worlds, the world of trading, the world of settlement, so withdraw and deposit the funds, and the market and the trading. So this is quite interesting because in this partnership for us, it makes us very strong to propose some tool at probably a level, and I'm saying without blushing, that technically we could not provide internally, which are high professional level at all aspects. And we can provide it either to some of our direct clients, that's one, but we can also establish some partnership. So we have been looking at, for example, some software which are managing relationship with Bitcoin miners, for example. This software is used to effectively manage the ASICs machine, which are mining Bitcoin and so on. And now we are going to bridge this operation with DAMEX, which is going to become the client facing. And those actors are going to be through this platform with the API connected with Finery Market towards our liquidity provider. We are going to be allowing those miners to, on one hand, manage the ASICs that they are mining with, and on the other, to manage the liquidity buy and sell function that they need, all in one web. So I think this is really where we are looking at a big potential, because there's a lot of actors which are extremely specialized with a niche market, Maybe we can think of some software solution as a custody. We can think of this Bitcoin mining. We can think of quite a few number of partners which have a niche market that they are using, but they do not have the regulation, they do not intend to, they do not want to do the process of onboarding. They still want to offer this solution to a client. So DAMEX become the one which engage with the client, and we are providing with your solution, we are providing all the liquidity, the connectivity, and the operation, the automation, the reporting to them. So for us, this has been the accelerator of this decision, and it's really adding a very, very strong offering to our clients.
Thanks, Sam. Actually, the way you describe it is it sounds like this is a kind of ecosystem of different partners connected all together for, different business reasons to drive the growth. And Leo, I guess this is the same philosophy we have in Finery Markets to create an ecosystem. Could you please a little bit elaborate on that? So how digital asset market players could benefit from the ecosystem created by marketplace model of Finery Markets?
Absolutely. And again, I want to echo what Sam said. Finery Markets is a unique ECN as a service solution. We create proprietary ECNs for different clients. In fact, I look at Liquidity Match and Finery Markets in general as a set of Legos, which has many different components, and clients can leverage whatever they need for their needs. So there's obviously a trading matching engine, there's risk component, risk management, which is the core of the platform. There's a best X that is available for large institutions because we have multiple liquidity providers streaming into one market depth in a quote montage book. And there are a lot of nice, to have features like position management and per asset control. So you can manage individual crypto, stable, or fiat currencies, and you can go down to the granular level of individual asset and control that. We have a built-in lending and borrowing platform, and there are a lot of different features for companies to set user roles. So, DAMEX can come in, and Sam can be an admin, and then can be an dedicated risk management officer. There can be dedicated traders and several ops people, and all of them have limited rights and responsibilities on the platform of how they manage their accounts and their clients. Essentially, we have a number of use cases where liquidity can be simply resold by the OTC broker. The OTC broker comes and they have multiple clients, and they're simply reselling the liquidity that they receive from LPs to various clients. We can have the market maker who is facing just one master of the account, and then they're reselling again. They can be, high frequency traders, or we have quant teams that simply provide really good, tight price engines, pricing through the pricing engines. They don't want to face clients. They don't want to talk to people and get, phones. Where did I trade yesterday? I wrote it down on a piece of paper, but I can't find it. Like all these different cases come up. And some of those, pricing teams, they're interested in doing the pricing for the market, but they don't want to interact with clients. So we have a solution for them. They can come in as a sub account, as a maker, and then stream their liquidity and trade against, again, a diverse set of clients. We have instances where we have an instant exchange that is starting. There are a lot of exchanges that continue to start all around the world. And those exchanges will need instant liquidity. So that comes, again, from Finery Markets. They integrate directly into our matching engine. They consume liquidity from Finery Markets and repost it onto the exchange. Again, what we see is a lot of growth in Europe. We see a lot of growth in Asia. We're very actively pursuing LATAM. I'm actually going to Fireblocks Spark conference next week. Happy to meet people who will be there and talk more about various collaborations. We're working with one of the key partners on African continent, and really trying to provide the solution for, again, the liquidity, the risk management in a very structured way with a lot of different building blocks that allow clients to build a solution out of the box, provide a proprietary ECN that has access to liquidity, to reporting, to settlement, net settlement positions to allow the various independent, settling for each individual trade. So there's a lot of components, and we can always find a way to collaborate with a wide variety of clients.
Yeah. Thanks, Leo. And yeah, we started with growing demand from institutional clients, more professional clients, which will have stronger, I would say, or higher requirements, basically for everything, for the products, for technology. And as you mentioned, high frequency traders, sophisticated traders, they all need very robust technology stack, and we all know that, at least for electronic trading. Sam, payment providers is a kind of company, I would say, segment of the business which is linked to our business, but a little bit different. Can you just elaborate on how important the, I would say, technology stack for payment providers, how important this particular part for the business success?
I can start with a simple example to help you and the audience understand. I don't want to end up in a situation where I'm going to send the result of a $1 million trade if I'm not sure that I receive the coins and I settle those coins into fiat. So when you do mistakes, or when there's technological mistake in trading, it's not nice, but it's very rarely balance sheet threatening. Whereas when you do mistake in fiat, on and off ramp, we know of a few days which have collapsed on simple mistakes. So it's very, very important to have every single steps in control and one activating after another. So the chain is not complicated, but you need to make sure that you have the segregation in roles and in process during the operation. So having some automation, which is coming and which is only triggering at certain key point, is very, very important in making sure that those processes are 100% proof. And so this is really making a big difference for us.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, just both companies are kind of two sectors of fintech, like payment, institutional trading. What is I guess is common is that both sectors actually have been revolutionized by digital assets, and the growth in fintech industry has been rapid and exciting. But now, as we started today's discussion, we are seeing a shift towards more sustainable growth, with a robust technology stack, more professional market players. So what's basically next for DAMEX? So where do you see your potential for growth in terms of clients, maybe geography, product offering? So what's next?
Yes, so we're facing some challenges, which is limiting the growth. And we made the choice very early on to be a regulated actor. In all honesty, you can simply see at the scope of some of the operation, and it's easy to target Binance, and you see what the choice of not being regulated have paid for them in the past, and now they have to pay the fines in relation with that cycle that they embrace and win some decision. But DAMEX decided 2018 to be one of the first regulated counterparty for our clients. Now we have to apply for various licenses. There's some restriction in the UK. We need to make that journey. Mika is preparing to go live next year in Europe. We're also preparing this journey and so on. So it's not always easy on the legal aspect of things. But I think we are going to be one of the strongest actors when we come out of this cycle, even if it has slowed our development. That being said, we've been doing 30% growth every single year for the last 5 years. So I think we made the right choice. We also made the right choice in the customer that we are serving. We have always been very cautious to balance an appetite for risk, because let's be honest, crypto is a tool being used for the purpose of payment in high-risk industries. There is no other description to make. But having a strong framework very early on gave us a level of comfort to the in terms of AML and due diligence. As a reminder, we are regulated, not authorized, meaning that compared to the vast actor which just register to be able to exercise with a certain level of comfort for the regulator, we have a proper regulation. So we have a proper supervision from the regulator coming in the office on a regular basis and auditing every function and making sure that we continue to operate the way we applied for our license years ago. So this is a guarantee of us doing behind the scene what we apply for. In terms of growth, the substantial addition that we've done earlier this year is the proposition with DAMEX Direct. We noticed that a lot of our clients were struggling with the reputation of their crypto transaction towards their main bank account. So we decided to add to our offering the possibility for them to have an IBAN in the name of their company or individuals within our ecosystem, meaning that now we're in a position to provide fiat to crypto, crypto to fiat within our own ecosystem. Since we have been offering this, we are seeing a lot of traction from our regular client, but also from many others, because unfortunately, due to the lack of understanding, training, tools, and so on, the historical banks are still not ready to be comfortable with accepting crypto processing flow and so on. So I think the future is really here. Now we have some various different products that we are going to add in 2024. But I think the main one that I mentioned earlier on, which is very relevant to the conversation we're having, is since the beginning of this year, we have had a substantial number of institutional, like crypto fund, like other traditional finance counterparty, which are growing more and more uncomfortable to send some funds in various exchanges and trade there. So they are looking for facing an actor which is regulated, which they are sure is embracing the right way to do things, and the segregation of assets as well in custody and so on. So the power of DAMEX is with one single onboarding. When you come online with us, you will have access to on and off ramp. Eventually, if you qualify, we can give you an IBAN. And then you can do some active trading with one of the deepest liquidity in the market, everything being settled with DAMEX only. You will still be trading with price from Binance, OKX, UOB, and so on. But basically, the flow is only coming to and from DAMEX. We are managing that liquidity towards the exchange ourselves with the various solutions that we deploy. So I think that's the key accelerator that we're going to see. We probably grew a bit slower than some of the actors which went all in, but at the same time, the future now we can see that things are turning in our favor, and there's a massive wave coming of people which want to be reassured the way you do business.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Like sounds like I mean, previous steps actually define the direction, and the future seems I mean pretty bright. Which is definitely good. Leo, I guess for the audience, it will be just interesting to, I mean, hear your view on like industry, electronic trading industry, Finery Markets growth. So how does it compare to like, I mean, what's Sam just said?
Well, I agree with Sam and what he mentioned earlier about the institutional growth. I think the ETFs, the cash ETFs that are being held by the regulators will definitely provide a big jump higher. Some of it has been priced in already. What's the expression? Buy the rumor, sell the news, that we've had in TradFi for many years, decades. But I would say that we're very fortunate to work with companies like DAMEX, a regulated entity with an outstanding payment infrastructure and custody. We have very strong LPs that are providing liquidity. We have key players in Europe, in Asia, developing LATAM, developing African continent. I think all these components sort of coming together as we continue to grow. We have a number of features that we're developing within Finery Markets that will make Sam's job even easier. both from the automation perspective as well as bridging into the DeFi world, working with custodians. Again, we're collaborating with the largest custodians in the world. Forgive me. So some of that integrated settlement is going to be part of the offering. But overall, I think the way the Finery Markets position itself, this unique firm stream liquidity that is helpful for both the payment providers, just like DAMEX, as well as the OTC and brokers. I think that really adds a tremendous arsenal of tools for people who are entering crypto or who are expanding their crypto reach. As institutional adoption continues to grow, and I'm positive that it will happen, we're just going to see that market landscape continue to evolve. There'll be more, we're still facing regulatory headwinds, obviously, as I mentioned, but the firm is positioned very well in providing solutions for, again, these key players. Whether you are looking to resell liquidity to other parties, whether you're a payment system provider and you're looking for a more efficient, more automated way to avoid human errors, to make sure that you have very clearly defined roles operating in the platform. And then just common consumer liquidity. We're growing our liquidity providers. We have some key providers and uniquely positioned in different regions, and we're continuing to grow that. And I think the functionality that comes from Finery Markets will continue to surprise the market on the positive side. So very, very excited about our future growth, both from the product development as well as our client development. And look forward to helping companies enter crypto space and be successful.
Yeah, thanks. I guess we are almost run out of time. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Leo. So I guess, we managed to shed the light on the opportunities in both sectors for payment providers, for OTC desks, for trading, electronic trading, in general digital asset space. My personal take is that future looks very promising for both companies, which is, really good. As we all will navigate the ever-changing market landscape, and will drive business growth for of both companies. So, thanks everyone for participation. I guess at this point we may conclude our session.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sam. Yeah.
Pleasure.
Sergey, thank you for moderating. It was good to see all of you.
Yeah. Goodbye. Take care.